Before we begin this video, it is time for a quick disclaimer. What follows are merely my own personal opinions. It's not some unalterable truth, it's not a personal attack, it's just the honest thoughts of some guy who loves this card game. Feel free to agree with me or disagree with me as much as you want, and feel free to voice your opinions in the comments. Also, it's time to break down the stereotype that all people who play these decks are fat and smelly. Here's a montage of me being jacked. Here's me in the gym, here's me in the ring, and here is me flexing in front of the mirror. I am definitely not your fedora-tipping neckbeard caricature type, but I am here to play as the defendant for these decks. And as for the smelly thing, well, I can't exactly film myself taking a shower. This isn't this kind of YouTube channel, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it, okay? I do shower every single day, trust me, bro. With that out of the way, let's begin. The modern state of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game is a controversial topic, and if you go on YouTube, you can find a gajillion videos with titles like Why I'm Quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! And What Exactly Ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of the most common things people say ruined the game was waifu decks. For the sake of those who spend a healthy amount of time outside, I will briefly explain what a waifu deck is. It's a deck where the monsters mainly consist of humanoid females, like magician girls, or harpy ladies, or cyber girls, or amazonesses, or rose girls, or no, it's only a problem when it's the modern ones for some reason. As your resident Dragon Maid player, I am making this video to say that while it's okay to hate on decks with this aesthetic, a lot of the criticisms leveled towards them are pretty disingenuous, and they did not ruin Yu-Gi-Oh, that's for sure. One of the main gripes people have with this style of deck is that according to them, it doesn't feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! And to be fair, I do understand where they're coming from with this one. Like I said earlier, cards like this have been a part of the game for quite a while, but if you compare them to the most iconic parts of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, there is quite a vibe difference. I can't imagine Jonouchi saying that Kitchen Dragon Maid is the card that represents his soul, or Kaiba opening up Battle City to get a playset of Sky Striker Ace Ray. But the hard-to-swallow truth is that the vibe of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been in constant change since 2004. With the dawn of the first sequel series Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game started to experiment with a variety of new styles in addition to its classic one. I think the best example of this in play is looking at how the main character's deck changed. Unlike a Tem who would duel with sorcerers and demons and all sorts of edgy stuff, the new main character Judai would duel with a deck filled with brightly coloured superheroes. Maybe it was done to make this series more accessible to a wider audience, or maybe it was just done to give this beloved franchise more content. But either way, the trend was set. Each generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Would continue to bring in more new aesthetics and styles of card art. Heck, even by the time of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which most people consider to be in the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the strongest card wasn't a god or a dragon or anything like that. It was a bunch of cockroaches hiding in the kitchen. So you get what I'm trying to say. Waifu decks are just one of a million different aesthetics in a card game that prints cards based on anything it wants at any given time. No one's forcing you to play them, and you can pick just about anything else you want really, from dinosaurs to mythical fire gods, or even little kitty cats if that's more your style. But what if you are being forced to pick them? What if this game has made it so that all these waifu decks are so overpowered that they're the only right choice if you want to win? All this variety doesn't matter, because all that will get you a gold medal is these anime girls, except that's totally not the case. Like, at all. The variety I mentioned earlier does indeed extend to competitive play. I don't even need to elaborate much, let's just look at the top 3 decks at the moment. We have Malice, which are indeed anime girls, but we also have Ryziels, robots based off different styles of engines, and Mitsurugis, snake people modelled after legendary Japanese swords. It's still there, guys. But just like with the last complaint I covered, I can see why people have started to think this way. And that's because there's no denying that the average waifu deck has become a lot stronger than it was in the past. And as you can see in the case of stuff like Malice and Sky Striker, They are now viable options for competitive play, as opposed to the past where it's more like the TV show writers just sat down and were like, ugh, okay, we can give the girl character a deck so she can duel like 1.5 times before getting possessed. There, we're not sexist, now shut up already! And then of course there's also the classic case of meme culture blowing things out of proportion. Ugh, this is what a zombie looks like in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Now! It's over! It's all waifus! Yu-Gi-Oh! Has fallen. Billions must play Pokemon. Hey! No! You guys go away! You're ruining the narrative! Go! I also feel like something that doesn't get talked about enough is how well Yu-Gi-Oh! Has preserved its classic style over the years. This endless stream of new variety didn't replace the classics, they just accompanied them. Legacy support ensures that fan-favorite decks like Blue Eyes White Dragon can still play competitively, and new decks like Memento are modeled after old normal monsters from way back in the day. And if you're one of those guys who's gonna scoff at all that and say, oh, that's just nostalgia baiting, they also release a lot of new cards that fit the vibe of the original too. Like the Bestials, dark gods with a theme of sacrifice, or the Horus cards, which are based off the sons of Horus from ancient Egyptian mythology, and all sorts of menacing giant monsters like the Yugioh and the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. It's all there. Duel Monsters still has actual monsters, but you'll have to open your eyes to see them. So yeah, while it's okay to not like waifu decks, while it's perfectly fine for you to hate them, they did not ruin the game. They're just one of the game's many, many different options for you to choose from. Nothing more. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.